Alright, so I literally get one shot at this, so I hope it sounds good. Folks, welcome to another episode of How are you folks all doing on this fine day? I'm doing pretty good. And on episode 2 of LoserBoy Reviews, we're going to be looking at something that was voted for on Twitter, at LoganWeber12. You can maybe be there if I decide to do a vote there again. And a Goofy movie swept Uncharted 4 and Spider-Man, Insomniac Spider-Man. Actually, I think Spider-Man got one vote, but, you know. We need more people to vote on these because only 3 people did. Anyway, I'm not complaining about my small Twitter following. I like it that way, and I'd like to keep it that way. But you can vote on the polls or just drop what you want me to review in the comments. Anyway, this is really long and drawn out. We're going to be reviewing the Goofy movie, and it's one of my favorite Disney movies. I watched it pretty recently, and I have a lot less to say about this one than Space Jam because I find it a lot less egregious and flawed, so there's not going to be as much, but still, I'd like to give my humble opinion on an all-time Disney classic, if you will. We're going to start off with something good about the Goofy movie and go back to something bad and then go back to... Well, I wouldn't say bad. This movie really didn't do anything that wrong, but we're going to start with the fact that it's just a really funny and heartwarming family movie. Disney doesn't really attempt comedy that much, but when they do, it typically doesn't work out very well, but I think they did a great job in a Goofy movie. Just, like, making a really good, like, comedy buddy dynamic. Think like Dumb and Dumber, but just apply that to Goofy and his son Max, and boom, you've got a Goofy movie. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say about that. I just think it's nice that Disney tried to go for something different instead of just their classic, I want this musical, give me this. Think Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, which are great movies. I'm not saying they're bad, they're just kind of like the same Disney formula sort of thing. So it's nice to see Disney go away from what they normally did to make a Goofy movie, and I think it did pretty well at the box office. It was a theatrical release, which I looked up before making this, because it seems like a straight-to-DVD, but it really wasn't. It did release in theaters, and I think it did pretty well. But either way, it doesn't really matter how it did. Scott Pilgrim bombed at the box office, and that's still a pretty good movie, so, you know. So the first good thing I wanted to bring up about the Goofy movie is the fact that it's just like a good, funny, comedy family movie. Because Disney has had the same formula before this for years, and then after this, they started the same formula again, and that is what I like to call the I Want musical. Want something? Sing song about something. Get something? Sing song about something. You want to talk about movies like this? I just described Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Princess and the Frog, and all of the other ones, also all of the other ones. But they're all great movies for the most part, but a Goofy movie just really changed up Disney's formula, and I think it worked really well for them, because some of Disney's best movies aren't really that musical. I mean, Goofy movie doesn't have a ton of music in it, and it's good music, but there's just not a ton of it. And then Emperor's New Groove doesn't really have anything. We're getting off topic. I'm talking about Emperor's New Groove again. Anyway, yeah, a Goofy movie is just a good, funny movie, and it's fun for the whole family. So, that's just a good reason for it to be a good movie. Now, for the first bad thing about the movie, it's not really bad. It's the same thing that's the problem with my other favorite Disney movie, Emperor's New Groove, and that is the fact that it's just a little too short, honestly. Like, runtime is like an hour and a half, somewhere around there, I think, and That's not, like, terrible by any means. I mean, An Emperor's New Groove, I'm pretty sure, is, like, 67 minutes with credits. That's really bad, and I love that movie to death, but it's just too short. But, yeah, a Goofy movie could have benefited a lot more from, like, 5 minutes of just, like, little things on the road trip, or maybe, like, I don't know. But either way, I think a Goofy movie could have used just 5 more minutes. Like, some movies I feel like could use 5 minutes taken away from them, so we could just give, like, 5 minutes from Trolls World Tour to Goofy movie, and just change everything about it, and I think that'd be great. As we go back to something good, I'm saving the best thing for last, but Goofy movie has very good character development in it, like top-notch character development, because Max and Goofy hate each other. Well, that's not true. Max hates Goofy, go on road trip, bond, but Max has promised this thing to this girl named Roxanne, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and he's like, oh no, now I shouldn't be lying to my dad, because my dad is actually cool, and, Max does it anyway, and they end up in the bottom of, like, the Grand Canyon or something. So, yeah, but then they get the song Nobody Else But You, which is, like, big character climax, emotional climax of the film, and, yeah, it's just, it's nice. I mean, you get to see Max kind of develop as a character and say, hey, maybe I shouldn't be taking this for granted. Maybe I should be appreciating the time I have with my dad, because one of the main things about the bad Goofy movie, an extremely Goofy movie, is that Goofy misses Max, and Max doesn't really, like, care that much, and yeah. I haven't seen an extremely Goofy movie in a while, but that's pretty much all I remember about it, is that Max goes to college or something, and then Goofy goes to college too, and it's really weird and not as good as the first one. Just watch the first one, save yourself the disappointment, honestly, but, you know, yeah, that's all I gotta say for, like, really good, actually, I'd like to add that Goofy actually has some pretty good character development too. Like, he finds out that Max is, like, he's just a teenager. So teenagers do teenager things, like listen to music that sounds like monkeys, and Tevin Campbell does not sound like a monkey, okay? Tevin Campbell makes beautiful music for the Goofy movie and Damian Lillard's wedding, okay? We'll get to that in a minute, but, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought trying to talk about Tevin Campbell and Damian Lillard's wedding, so, you know. In case you haven't, like, figured out by now, this is not nearly as put together as my Space Jam review. It's way unhinged, but, like, my main issue with the Goofy movie is that it feels too rushed, and that's, like, kind of the same problem I had with it being too short. Because things just happen really fast in a Goofy movie, and I get it, it's a road trip movie, so there's not, like, a lot of interesting things that happen between, like, big events, and, like, some really good stuff happens, just, like, boom, boom, in a sequential order, with no, like, filler in between. Like, there's, like, the scene with Pete's camper, and the scene with Bigfoot, and Hi Dad's Soup, which is an amazing scene. That's really when, like, the emotional sort of side of the movie starts to show itself and becomes known. Either way, a Goofy movie is not really a movie you can look at as critically as other movies, because it just didn't do much wrong. But boy, it did something right, and I'm about to tell you what it did right very, very aggressively. A list of tracks from the Goofy movie that are on my Spotify playlist. Stand Out, Tevin Campbell as Powerline. Eye to Eye, Tevin Campbell as Powerline. 2 is pretty dang good. Alright, folks. A Goofy Movie is Disney's best musical, and I'll tell you why. I'll try to explain it to you, and you still aren't going to believe me when I'm done, but you have to, because it's my opinion, and my opinion is the right one. Hey, I just invented politics. The movie that beats out 2 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and that one's got like 3 or something. So, yeah, Goofy Movie has one of the best movie soundtracks of all time, according to my Spotify playlist. Oh yeah, some other movies on there include the Weezer cover of You Might Think from Cars 2, and the Bare Naked Ladies song from Chicken Little. It's One Little Slip. That's a good one. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Wow, a Goofy Movie has good music and is actually like a really well-structured musical, because if you think about every musical, there's an establishing number to like sort of set up why the world is doing the thing that the world is doing and what the protagonist is going to do about it. So like, for example, we get After Today, also on my playlist. I forgot about that one. After Today, where Max like sort of introduces what he's gonna do that's gonna be so big and crazy, and wow, it's gonna blow him away, and Roxanne is gonna kiss him right on the friggin' lips. I don't know. Anyway, right after that, we sort of get another like I Want number. That's like the other crucial musical numbers in I Want. And it's Stand Out. Stand Out is the song that is a pop song, this disguised as a pop song, but it's really just how Max is feeling, because he wants to stand out among the crowd, and he's gonna do something big to do it. Yeah, and then you get the villain song. Some people say that Goofy's the Out on the Open Road is a villain song. I think it's really just another establishing song. The real villain song is the one at Lester's Possum Park, because I hate it there. After that, there's sort of a musical drought for like the 30 minutes of the movie, which you don't really see in Disney movies that often. There's typically a musical number being crammed in your face every 4 or 5. Between music, so like there'll be, I don't need to explain this. Then we get sort of like the emotional, like resolving number of the movie, which is Nobody Else But You, and then just a fun climax song, Eye to Eye. It's just an excuse to bring Tevin Campbell back, honestly. Nothing else. But yeah, okay. So if you're not convinced to watch a Goofy movie yet, my scores are coming up pretty dang soon, so stay tuned for those. Ladies and gentlemen, it is verdict time, and honestly, I'm gonna be straight with you guys. I'm not doing like an out of 10 number, because I only did that last time so I can make a look at LeBron's jersey joke. But I think I have settled on a score for a Goofy movie, and that is gonna be 89%. So that's gonna land a Goofy movie a B+, which, okay, it sounds a little critical and harsh, but the movie's just like not really a cinematic masterpiece per se. And yes, I know I gave Cruella a 92, but I bumped it down since then. Thank you very much. Anyway, yeah, a Goofy movie is a solid movie, and it's way above average, especially for Disney standards, and it's a great musical, great Father's Day film, and it's just a great time in general. So I'm going to put Goofy Movie at an 89%. Let me know if you agree, or you want to fight me or something. I don't know. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of impromptu video. The caffeine from the Mountain Dew I drank earlier is starting to kick in, and I'm starting to like lose my train of thought constantly, so maybe I should get off of that. Thanks for watching, as always, and comment below what you'd like to see next, or what you think about, you know, the whole score thing. Also, if you're new here, you can subscribe to the channel if you'd like, because we are currently growing at a surprisingly quick rate for a really small channel, and I blame it on the video that is currently gaining like 100 views, like oh no, not 100, like 1,000 views a day right now. Please don't stop that. I like that. If the faster we get to 1,000 subscribers, the happier I am. So, Alright, sorry about that little rant. I promise I just do this for fun, not for the subscribers, because I never even expected to hit 100. I know I said to the Discord folk I would do a 100 subscriber special, and it's too far from that to do it anymore. So maybe we'll just wait till 1,000, and then I'll see you guys later. But I hope you guys clicked off the video a long time ago. But if you didn't yet, your time is now because the video is ending.